Clearly seeing the emptiness of all the 5 conditions, we completely relieve misfortune and pain. Form is no other than emptiness, no other than form. Form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form. Sensation, conception, discrimination, awareness are likewise like this. All dharmas are forms of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Without gain, so there's no hindrance in the mind. No hindrance, therefore no fear. Far beyond deluded thoughts, this is nirvana. So, to be honest with you, I had to close my eyes. For some reason, I can't recite that with my eyes open. So anyway, Jersey Shore, check it out. Grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt. So the Heart Sutra, introducing a new teaching here, but it's continuing the same theme of the 3 videos that dealt with things are not as they seem nor are they otherwise, emptiness, enlightenment, sameness, indifference, relative, absolute, all the same theme. The Heart Sutra is really, the most important teaching on emptiness in that tradition of Buddhism, in Mahayana Buddhism. Right now I'm just going to key in on the beginning and maybe the end if I don't talk too long on the beginning. Clearly seeing the emptiness of all the 5 conditions, we completely relieve misfortune and pain. This is huge. It deals with, it goes back to conditionality and the non-self. And it clearly says, when we clearly see conditionality, when we see that this thing that we believe to be the self, this construct of self that we create, is merely a coming together of temporary conditions, this frees us of hardship and pain. Because we're not attached, we're not pursuing and avoiding. We see, doesn't mean the self doesn't exist, and I talked about this already, I'll reiterate a little bit. The self just doesn't exist the way we think it does. It's not permanent, it's not fixed, and the conditions that we identify with that cause us hardship and pain are not inherent in what the self is. The self is a spacious process that comes and goes, that allows conditions to rise, that allows conditions to fall. Doesn't mean we don't deal with those conditions, just means we're not identified and attached to them. So again, understanding that there is no permanent fixed self and that there's nothing the conditions aren't inherent in this idea of self, it frees us from pain, it frees us from hardship. So that's the beginning of the Heart Sutra. The end says that far beyond deluded thoughts, we reach nirvana, we find nirvana. This is nirvana. So, so another way of saying that is enlightenment is the clear seeing through our ignorance, through our delusion, and then through the illusion that ignorance and delusion causes. So far beyond deluded thoughts is nirvana. When we are free from our own delusion, free from the ignorance that causes the delusion, and free from the and free from the illusion that the delusion causes us to perceive as true, we reach nirvana. So it's simply, being free from that, letting go of it. And the Heart Sutra really, in its infinite wisdom, tells us that, and this is where the sameness and difference comes in. We shouldn't be entangled in all these things. That's what causes our delusion. That's what causes our suffering. So enlightenment is not only seeing the sameness and the difference and reconciling it by, as I've said before, not reconciling it. Seeing the sameness is the reconciliation, that they can both, the sameness and difference can exist independently and then also come together as one. But that enlightenment is getting past good and bad, right and wrong, pain and blame, fame and disrepute, all the differences. It's about reaching a place where we're not swayed by either one to one end or the other. So I hope this was all helpful, and I'll talk more about it in other videos. But have a grateful, maggot-free day above the dirt. Peace out.